Protect your online privacy today at expressvpn.com/inside.
Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Inside Gaming Daily for Friday.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, everybody. We're going to talk about Sony having to pay millions of dollars to Australia. But first, I'd like to introduce our guest, Steph Ijoma. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
It is our pleasure.
Oh boy, what did Sony do? Insult Vegemite? Well, they're going to get a lot of beer money out of this. So
I think you mean to say Foster's. Sorry,
oh,
Foster's.
Fosters.
It's Australian for beer.
You say beer in our country as well, so
Beer.
yeah, beer.
Yeah.
I like it. It's like there's an extra syllable in there. I like
Classy.
it. It has to do with refunds and how stingy video game companies can be with them. But this story could have a wider effect on the rest of the world too. Not that we don't love you, Australia,
We do.
Yeah.
but we do. We love you, but you know,
But there's
we
a big
gotta
old
think of the
world
rest
out
of the
there.
world too.
Yeah.
We are
You're kind of in a
global.
little corner. You're in timeout down there.
Yeah.
So Sony was recently fined $3.5 million for misleading customers about its return policy. That's a lot for PlayStation. And it's a lot of PlayStation 5s as well.
Yeah.
Probably, in all fairness, we don't even know how much it costs yet. Does anyone have an idea? Or want to guess how much it costs?
So let me talk to my guys.
I think it's actually $2 million, so they can buy 1.5 of those.
Yes. Yeah.
$5, I just heard.
Maybe 50 Virgils. Maybe 50 Virgils. It may cost to get a PS5, so...
All right, we should note that Sony got fined $3.5 million in Australian dollars, which is like 50 cents here, so not that bad.
I don't think that's true.
I'm just kidding. It's 2.4 million good old American bucks. Jesus Christ, no wonder games are so expensive over there.
So here's the backstory on what happened. According to the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, this all stemmed from from poor people. That's what I said. This all stemmed from 4 people who tried to return faulty PlayStation games, but Sony Europe made misleading representations to them.
They should have stated it in the terms and conditions, no, or in the policy, but I guess nobody...
Right.
You think people would read that?
Do you not have your lawyers read over the terms and conditions before you sign them?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Right.
That's what they're there
Yeah.
for.
My bookie does.
Okay.
Apparently, Sony's customer service representatives told them that Sony Europe was not required to refund the game once it had been downloaded, or if 14 days had passed since it was purchased. No, that's not specified, American or European days, but we can assume.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that's is that like a fair kind of, clause or anything?
You know who
played it.
doesn't think so? Australia.
Yeah.
Any ironclad return thing is, in its own sense, anti-consumer, because they're worried about people taking advantage of it. But
Yeah.
if I buy something in the wrong size, I'm not going to get off my ass to take it to the post office, let alone take advantage of a system to make $20 off something. And what, play a game for 2 weeks? All this does is make sure they keep their money.
Yeah, so that was their standard policy, which was on their website. But that was contrary to the Australian consumer law. And Australian officials basically said, we make the rules here, not you, Sony. So Australia basically said, we run this
Get the hell off my island.
They threw the terms and conditions down. They said, that's not a policy.
Okay.
This is a policy. And that's from Finding Nemo.
Basically, once you enter Australia and you're entering that kind of territory with PlayStations and everything like that and Sony, they basically just said that they made the PlayStations now, so you guys have to just go buy it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the PlayStations are poisonous down there.
ACCC chair Rod Sims, great name, said that consumer guarantee rights do not expire after a digital product has been downloaded and certainly do not disappear after 14 days or any other arbitrary date claimed by a game store or developer.
Is that your Australian?
It got better as it went along, didn't it?
Yeah, you kind of rolled into it.
Yeah, exactly.
You got
I
a
got
jogging.
warmed up.
Autumn said stop.
Yeah, she does that sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, according to Australian law, you can ask a business. Oh my God.
It's 2 dailies in a row for me.
I had to yell at her
One more
yesterday
strike,
for
one more
these
strike.
messages. So according to Australian law, you can ask a business for a refund if the problem with the product is major. Yeah, sorry. For example, if it's unsafe, or if it is significantly different from the sample or description, or if it has a problem that would have stopped you from buying it if you had known beforehand. So
that's 90% of video games I've bought.
Yeah, exactly.
So really, you can just kind of refund all of them Well, the 90%.
Yeah.
So sadly, they didn't detail which games were returned or why, only that they were faulty.
So Anthem. And then Patrick, can I have a fedora? Is that doable?
Oh, so yeah.
Let's not even get into it.
Did you play it? Were you excited for Anthem?
I really was. I can't believe it's... man.
Yeah.
I was so
I
excited
feel,
for it.
I was going to be day one.
That was literally one of the most anticipated games of that year, and completely plummethed. Even EA themselves were disappointed. So,
I know.
it's weird. Normally they don't come out and say their disappointment in games, but they were disappointed.
I'm glad to hear that Anthem sucked over in the UK too. It wasn't just us.
Yeah.
So Australia also found that Sony Europe breached the consumer law by telling one of the consumers that it did not have to provide a refund unless the game developer authorized it.
That's passing the buck a little bit.
Yeah.
Look, you gotta
look at
ask the
us.
developer.
That's like when somebody sends a corporate email that has in it, my hands are tied. They're not.
They also told another consumer that Sony Europe could provide a refund using virtual PlayStation currency instead of money. And both of those were no-nos. Big Rod said that consumers can get a refund directly from Sony without being sent to a developer. And guess what? It has to be cash down under, or however the customer bought it. Not virtual currency, not V-Bucks, not PlayStation Bucks.
Roblox, none of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so happy.
Refund, they want their money back. They don't want something in virtual.
They don't want crypto. They also said that Sony Europe's terms of service improperly implied that users did not have consumer guarantee rights regarding the quality, functionality, completeness, accuracy, or performance of their purchased digital games between October 2017 and May 2019. What did I just say? What does that mean?
They were basically saying they were full of They said that Sony didn't have the authority to make that claim. They tried to say you didn't have any rights, but Australia was like, guess what? This is Australia, baby. You got rights.
Or maybe they just threw those dates in there quickly.
Yeah.
Sims added that consumers who buy digital products online have exactly the same rights as they would if they made a purchase at a physical store. This is not the first time that Australia has squared off against a video game company and gotten them to pony up some money when it comes to refunds. Not the only ones who've been, bullied by Australia.
Yeah.
They're the bully of the world, really.
That's awesome.
No wonder they're on the other side of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Crikey, Governor. God damn it. I'm so sad Alana isn't in this video. But you know what's not sad, fellas and lady? Eating steaks. Unless you think eating animals is sad, which a lot of people do. Not in Texas. That's illegal. But wow, we're bombing these segues. Anyway, thank you, Omaha Steaks, for sponsoring today's episode.
Today's episode of Inside Gaming Daily is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Father's Day is coming up, so why don't you give Dad the gift he really wants this year? No, it's not those ice cube molds that look like Death Stars. It's perfectly aged tender steaks. Omaha Steaks will deliver the world's best steaks and a huge variety of other favorites directly to your dad's door. Right now, Omaha Steaks is offering our viewers access to a variety of amazing packages that are perfect to send Dad for Father's Day. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter the code INSIDE into the search bar. You'll see all the great options available, many of which include free shipping and a free 1-pound package of their perfectly cured, incredibly thick applewood smoked steak cut bacon. Come on! Does it get any better than that? There are many packages available that are perfect for Dad, and they are all ready to be shipped straight to his door in time for Father's Day. Omaha Steaks has a variety of Father's Day packages that include world-famous Omaha Steaks, naturally aged at least 21 days for tenderness and handcuffed to perfection, burgers, franks, and sausages, and other favorites, perfect for grilling, go out on the patio, have a night, make a night of it. Premium poultry and pork cut by Omaha Steaks butchers and individually sealed for freshness and flavor, tasty and easy to make side dishes, no work one-step family meals, artisan desserts, and much, much more. Right now, Father's Day packages are ready to order and ready to ship, and many include free shipping and a free pound of steak cut bacon. Yes, bacon. Omaha Steaks delivers guaranteed quality and safety with every order, so send Dad a gift of food he'll love this year. Visit omahasteaks.com and type INSIDE in the search bar to shop for Father's Day today. Thank you, Omaha Steaks.
So what did that scrappy little Australian do to beat off those video game bullies? Well, back in 2014, the country sued Valve for violating its consumer laws because Valve did not offer refunds or returns on games sold via Steam.
And Valve's like, we make more money than you do, Australia.
Yeah.
Can't tell us what to do.
But they kind of won. They beat Steam. Steam did later introduce that option in 2015, but the Federal Court of Australia eventually found Valve at fault and fined them $3 million Australian dollars.
Buckaroonies, 3 million. If an ideal Australian ends up like
What was that?
It always turns into like I'm making fun of the Beatles.
But it's
It's Australian for beer.
I'm a bit Scottish there now, so
Oh, there you go.
Valve appealed that decision to the Australian Higher Court and it lost again.
Yeah.
Nowadays, Steam's refund policy is a lot more forgiving, especially compared to the console makers.
They seem to have learned something.
I was going to say, I love to see company take an L.
Yeah, we love to see it. Yeah, Steam nowadays will give you any refund for any reason within 2 weeks of purchase. You got to hit that 2-week window. And if you played the game for less than 2 hours, I've definitely taken advantage of that. And for pre-orders, you can request a refund at any time prior to the release of that title, which is good. It's all good, but it did take a while for them to get there.
Yeah.
I just learned on Steam, because that's where like I review a lot of games, that to add friends, you have to spend a minimum of $5 to use the full benefits.
What?
I didn't even
Really?
know that. Yeah. Until,
Really?
Yeah, I was trying to add my friends so we can do some like, online play.
Kind of a friends with benefits.
More like benefits with friends.
Yeah, if you think of it like that. Yeah.
I feel like I've had my Steam account in my family for generations, so I can't it without any
It's
games
passed
in it.
down to you.
Yeah,
It's
it's an
your
heirloom.
gaming legacy.
We don't have to keep using that phrase. We did that story
I will
already.
never stop.
But yes, Australia has been pretty aggressive about protecting consumers' rights, unlike here in the US, where we let companies do pretty much whatever they want. We've seen this come up a lot lately when it comes to refunds, and it really shows how dickish video game companies can be.
Nintendo, probably one of the worst offenders. They won't give any refunds for a game you bought on the eShop. They won't even let you cancel a pre-order.
No.
But once it's done, it's sealed.
I tried to make up a nephew to get me out of a purchase, and they ended up giving me 200 Nintendo coins.
That's
Just $2. But
A few years back, Norway, of all countries, took them to court over that issue, saying that the digital games are products just like anything else, which is true. The Norwegian Consumer Council's Director of Services wrote, "The digital gaming market is best set with problems surrounding pre-ordering, including unfinished product, copyright protection, and misleading advertising. You should be granted the same consumer rights as everyone else when you buy the games." Well, Nintendo said hell no, and they went to court. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
They are super, super stingy. Wow.
They are.
They've bought
I think Nintendo tried to copyright claim YouTubers, I think, and Twitch streamers
Yeah.
who were just playing Nintendo games a while ago.
Did you hear about the program that they shut down with like their influencers, and they had a program for influencers where they'll give games, and they just recently closed it down. I think they're restructuring it and stuff, but then one of the influencers actually came out and said out of the whole entire time he's been on the program, they've only sent him 2 games. Every other Nintendo game he's had to buy them, and his channel is dedicated to Nintendo games.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
Nintendo's motto is for you, full price.
Yeah.
PR stingy, so
The case was later taken to Germany, but that's where Nintendo of Europe is headquartered. And in late 2018, the German Consumer Protection Authority took Nintendo to court over the issue, but eventually Nintendo won. A German court ruled that Nintendo didn't do anything wrong, and it's legal to not allow cancellation of pre-orders.
oh my
Right.
gosh.
Let me take you back, Brian, because you did write Nintendo again
yeah,
in the
we can't
script.
let you off the hook.
And I can't let that slide.
It's been an incredible streak, I think, every week since we relaunched.
I cannot spell Nintendo correctly, and I refuse to learn.
Right.
And I'm too old to do it now.
Yeah. No new tricks for this dog.
Nope.
So, yeah, that is being appealed, but for now, you still cannot cancel pre-orders in the eShop. So, why do companies do this? Well, they want to keep your money. That's all there is to it. It's not, some companies like Steam have loosened up over the years, but that's only been after court challenges. So they're not doing this. Thank you, Connor.
I waited until after the line was read.
They're not doing this because they're good people who are worried about their consumers.
No, they're like a t-shirt shop on the beach. Like
yeah.
So and maybe that shows that there could be a silver lining to this story. After a similar lawsuit from Australia, Valve eventually implemented more of a lenient return policy for everyone. So could Sony do it too? Well, we have to wait and see.
They could.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, no, but maybe. But Sony isn't going to appeal the Australian ruling. The Australian Commission said that Sony Europe surrendered, admitted liability, and they'll also, quote, contribute to the commission's legal costs. They're paying lawyer fees too. So yeah, I don't know, they kind of buckled on this. I don't, maybe it could spread elsewhere.
Yeah, so it seems like a pretty big surrender on Sony's part, which is good. And again, we love to see a company take an L.
You'll love to see
You'll love to see it.
Battleship, yes.
Exactly.
This week we've been, of course, having guests on and giving them a chance at the end of the episode to just talk about whatever they want, be it discussion, pre-prepared notes, I don't know. But Steph, the floor is yours.
No, honestly, thank you guys first and foremost for having me. Like I said, with what's been going on in the world, it's really, really hit not only me, but the Black community very, very hard. This has been something that's been ongoing for not just the last couple of years, not just the last 10 years. Since we've been literally forced into the Western region or forced into America or the UK, it's been since slavery. And it's just so disheartening and so appalling that the world has to wake up when another one of our Black brothers has, been killed by the system, by the police. Everything in this climate and, where we are is run by a racist system. And we don't choose the color of our skin, we're born, we die, and we're always taught to love each other. And I just don't see why it's such a problem to be killing Black people like this. Like, it's out of this world, and it's the police. And if you think about it in a grand scheme of things, the police don't have the power like that they should be having. And although, it's happened in America, it happens a lot in the UK. But, with America, it's very more, prominent. But when somebody dies in America, especially a Black person, whether it be a man, woman, trans, gay, it affects us and it has to stop. And I feel like another thing that's really disappointing is that it's taken our trauma, our pain, our suffering for all these companies to wake up. Now, the industry that I'm in, gaming, is what I wanted to highlight today. I can't believe that a lot of these companies are now making statements about, yes, we're going to support the Black community. We're going to donate here. We're going to support here. We're going to, show a light on this. It's not just doing that, because you can't be doing this now and then 2 months later you're going to forget about us, and then you're going to wait till October or February for Black History Month again to recognize us. It doesn't work like that. It's so disgusting that when you think about it, you think about the gaming companies and the brands, when you actually look into their workforce, there's barely any of us. There's literally less than 10% of us actually working in the industries. And because of that, we aren't given the spaces, the opportunities, and we're talented, we're hardworking. We pretty much make the culture where it is now. And it's just like, everyone's profiting off of what we've created. And I feel like it's enough now. And yeah, it's all nice and dandy that, Sony and, EA and 2K and, all these other big corporate companies in the gaming industry are making these statements saying that we're going to support you guys, we're going to put 2 million here. But we need to have permanent solutions for permanent change. And like, this is just a call out for all platforms to just come together now and make something of it, especially non-Black people and white people who have the privilege to talk to the companies and talk to the system to change it, to allow us in. And that's one of the reasons why I created my brand Nay Saga, because when I first created this 5 years ago, looking in the gaming industry, I didn't see anyone that looked like me or represented me. And when, I have a background in health, so I've always wanted to get into the gaming industry, but when you apply, they don't take you on for whatever reason or not. But most of the time it's because of the color of their skin, or because the people in power, they're white men, and when they want to diversify, the next thing they look to is the white women. And that's what they call diversifying. And it's not just going like that and that's it. There has to be more of it. And you can tell that there's not enough of us, because look at the games that we buy. We don't have that many Black protagonists. Look at the spaces we go to. Some of the times when I go to gaming industry events, there's literally probably like 4 Black people within a room of 150 people. There's literally not enough. And like I said, the reason why I created Nay Saga is create a space because they didn't allow me in it. So I want to basically create a space so I can come knocking. And I want to make so much noise to the point where companies now do come knocking. There's been, in the last couple of days, it's been so overwhelming for me because I just made a thread saying, okay, Black creators, streamers, put all your stuff down below. Let's make ourselves known. Over hundreds of Black content creators and streamers have now made themselves known. Now it's a thing where companies are now slightly clicking that follow button. They're slightly messaging me saying that we want to. That's all well and dandy, but where were you? How many years ago when we needed you? And I just pray that what we're doing now is a permanent change. That's why obviously I appreciate you guys for having me on because, you know, you guys have such a big platform and you're using your power to get my voice heard. So at least whoever hears this, they can actually make the changes. We need to start, you know, looking at what the problems are. We need to start, you know, implementing the change and everything. And we need to start bullying the industry. This is what I've been doing for the last week, bullying the industry until we get some sort of change. Because I don't want it to be a thing where there's still going to be killings. If we're going to keep it all the way real with you, you know, the justice that we're trying to get now is going to happen in the next probably 6 to 8 months if we don't, you know, put a stamp on it now, you know. So with the gaming industry and everything like that, we need to just really just restructure everything. With any type of industry you're in, we need to restructure it. We need to hire more Black people. That's, you know, the journalists, the game devs, the content creators, the streamers, you know, the writer, everyone. We need to try and diversify the place, and we need to try and understand that Black people are just like you know, and it's not, you know, this whole sentiment of all lives matter. Yes, all lives matter, but it doesn't matter until Black lives matter first, you know. And I'm going to try and do everything in my power to, you know, make more noise to get us in these spaces. So, yeah, do you guys want to, you know, touch up on it and, you know, what you guys have been doing, you know, what you guys feel like should be changed and everything?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. First of all, thank you for saying all that, and thank you for taking the time to come record with us today, because obviously it's just a start. I mean, rewarding to us too to have people come in and offer different perspectives, because our team is, you know, majority white.
I hope for Rooster Teeth as a company, though, it leads to, like you were saying, longer changes and actually hiring people and making the company like more diverse and not just, you know, in the moment when it's kind of the thing to do. I thought you made another interesting point. Weirdly, this is a problem in every industry. Like, it's a problem in journalism. You know, in the stand-up world where I come from, it's also a huge issue. So I think it takes big structural change, and with the way we police people too. You know, in terms of America, this dates back to post-slavery, and the reason the police system is fucked up is because it was designed to keep Black people in near slave conditions. Yeah. That's why it's actually functioning exactly as how it was designed. Started and designed to do.
Right, because the knee-jerk reaction is to call the system broken, but
it's not.
Yeah, which is why people say that, like, well, I'm not racist. And it's like, well, even if you don't think you are, you're benefiting from a racist system. And I've had to, I didn't fully understand that myself, and I still don't. And I don't know if I ever will fully understand it, but I think this week has been really important in self-education.
Education has been so important, and it's even great that you're honest with yourself, because some people are just doing this, you know, because they don't want to see their stores getting looted or you know, people are just doing it for the sake of, you know, trying to contain the peace. But we've tried being peaceful and it's not been working. So, you know, educating yourselves and trying to figure out, okay, what can I do as an individual to change my community and change what's around me, you know, because it's not only is it affecting Black people the most, it's affecting the economy. It is affecting you guys as well, because, you know, we have to like co-host and work together, you know, and if we're not good on our side, you guys will never be good on your side. So there has to be some sort of like change. I'm tired of it. I'm tired.
Yeah. Yep.
Steph, thank you so much for coming out today
thank
and
you.
sharing
really.
your time with us. And where can people find you? Where can people find your work and everything?
So thank you so much once again to you guys for having me here. I'm on Twitter, Naysaga. I am on YouTube as well, Naysaga. So I cover all things gaming, comics, and anime. I'm also on Twitch as well, Naysaga. I'm also on Facebook, Naysaga. Literally everywhere, Naysaga. And yeah, make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys show these guys love as well. It's been amazing. It's been really good to just have a voice, in such a big platform.
Take her away.
Hey everybody, welcome back to... What'd you say?
Take her away.
Hey everybody, welcome
Take
back
her
to
away,
Inside
Connor.
Gaming Daily for Tuesday. Let's talk way too early about who's already won the next gen.
Oh, another one of these, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hey,
they're
hey,
still
wait.
doing it. They're still going.
Stofers. The
What you
official
got?
Stofers Stovetop account just followed Funhouse.
It's